Hey, Tuesday night in Alaska, Total Schmidt Show. Let's do this. Total Schmidt Show Season 3 is upon us. Tune in every week. I talk to entertainers from all over the world. Singers, dancers, comics, musicians, drummers, blah, blah, blah. All kinds. Techs, even some cruise directors. Most of the entertainers I talk to work on cruise ships. If you ever wanted to know what entertainers do, how they get through their day, any of the behind-the-scenes stuff about entertaining, we'll talk about that stuff here, as well as we'll delve into some of the entertainers and some of their works, some of their albums coming up, some of the things they've done in the past, things you can look forward to in the future. All that stuff you can catch here on Total Schmidt Show. But either way, get yourself a pizza, a beer, some bourbon, light up a cigar, or some sort of joint, or whatever type of crutch or vice you need to get through the evening, and sit back and enjoy whatever it is I put together this week on Schmidt Show. Hey, it's Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in to Total Schmidt Show, whether you're watching it or just listening on the pod. If you're watching, you'll see I'm in a food court in an airport, finishing up this video before I get on the Carnival Liberty. And if you're listening, just pretend I'm on a rooftop in LA somewhere, like a pool area, doing that type of thing. Anyway, it's Total Schmidt Show. Thanks for tuning in. I talk to entertainers. Subscribe to the podcast if you're listening and you have not done so. I would really appreciate it. It's all about likes and follows these days, people. So do me a favor, give listen to the show, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Please do that for me. And you can go to LennySchmidt.com and subscribe to the pod and get updates, and you can just see all the pods. It's like $2 a month, something like $5 a month. No, $2 a month. Yeah, $2 a month, $20 for the whole year for like 40 podcasts. That's pretty good. That's a great deal, I think. That's what I think. Last week I was home in Los Angeles, and I got to do a show at the Comedy Chateau, and I thought while I was there I'd reach out to a comic friend of mine in the LA area, Brenda Pontiff, who's originally from Houston. We talk about it quite a bit here in some of the Houston comics and the old school legends out of Houston. Some of the work Brenda's been doing. Brenda's an old school comic. She's been around a long time. She's a pro. I always love having pros on the show that talk about what they do with their show, structure. We talk a lot about working on your act, writing new jokes, how open mics have changed over the years. It's a cool podcast. I like this podcast a lot. We had a great time talking. So do me a favor, sit back, enjoy, listen to my conversation with the one and only Brenda Pontiff. You wanted to start with Jimmy Pineapple.
Well, I was going to say, Jimmy's going to look at this and go, what? Brenda's obsessed with me. No, I was saying that, no, every podcast that I do, it seems to be that we wind up talking about Jimmy Pineapple. So I thought we ought to just start with Jimmy Pineapple because we're going to wind up getting there anyway. So.
There we go. Smart. Well, I love Jimmy, so I have no problem talking about Jimmy.
I do too.
When was the last time you were back in Houston?
Oh, gosh. I was there in February of this year. I did the Margaritaville resorts thing, which is what some of the Houston comics are doing that. Right. And not just Houston comics, but other comics. And but no, I haven't seen Jimmy in person in
Well, they have
forever.
a line now, too.
What?
They have a line, too.
Yes, they do. They do.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But I haven't seen Jimmy in person in a long time. I just stay in touch with him, and I know that he's doing a lot with the Outlaw comics. And he's rebranded the Outlaw.
Yeah.
And so and they were on TV today, and he's got Andy Huggins, he's got T-Shawn Shannon, he's got Rob Mungle, right. He's got others. I'm slipping here. I think Billy D. Washington. So it's a good group.
Yeah,
it's a really good group of wonderful Texas comics that he's taken out and doing shows together and stuff. So that's really good. But it's funny because it starts with a conversation about how a lot of the younger comics don't know the history of comics,
right.
and they don't know how Houston plays an integral role in.
Yeah.
Some of the greats.
Significant role.
Yes. And I consider Jimmy one of the greats. Andy Huggins. T-Shawn Shannon has always been one of my favorite. I always tell T-Shawn he moves up when somebody dies, on the list because he's still living. And T-Shawn, when you watch T-Shawn, you can see the Bill Hicks influence in his cadence.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, you can feel that cadence. But yeah, I mean, so I love it. I tend to, when I'm backstage in a green room and a young comic asks me, when I hear I'm from Houston and they ask me about Bill or Sam or whatever, I just immediately gravitate to those comics who are interested in the history.
Right.
And because there's so many that aren't, and they don't know who these people are, or they don't, if you say Boston, like I know Boston, I know Stephen Wright, and I know who came out of Boston or San
big names
Francisco,
or whatever,
and I know who came out of San Francisco, and of course I know who came out of New York, and I mean it's I think my responsibility to understand that.
Well, if you come from the city, you should know who the people in the city are.
Yeah.
Especially again, we think differently now. Both of you and I come from the same generation.
Mm-hmm.
These younger comics seem like they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of comics don't really care about. I don't know if they care about being good comics.
I don't think they do. Some of them.
They care about getting likes and follows and making money on the internet.
Yes.
And that's their big thing.
Yes.
Like I've mentioned this a handful of times on the show. Like when I would go on the road and go play Oklahoma City or something like that, they'd have Tuesday or Wednesday would be an open mic. Be a bunch of micers would be up there, and I'd close the show, and the show would be over, and they all be gone. And I go, "Where are those kids at?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, they left right after sets," and you're like, okay, and I'm not saying you should stay and watch me, obviously.
No, I hung out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I met a lot of people, was living in Houston. And like the last stop, I was the MC for a long time, kind of the house MC and I would meet the feature that was coming in from town and the headliner. And so when I moved to LA, I knew some people.
Right.
And I remember hanging out with Lenny Clark, and hearing stories, and he was saying, "You ought to move to LA. You're ready," and you're going, okay, this is, but yeah, I mean, to me, that's part of it. The hang is part of the joy.
The hang was really cool.
Yeah.
Because you could just go to, when you lived in town, when I was in Chicago, and even when I was in Chicago, I started in LA, but I was from Chicago, and went back to Chicago to study improv. And I used to study improv for like 8 weeks in downtown, and then go on the road for 8 weeks, and then come back. And I did this balance for years.
Yeah.
But when I was in town doing improv, I would get a side job to make money. I was featuring mainly on the road and headlining B rooms. But I went and hung out in the clubs just to see who was there. Like if I knew someone if I knew a friend featuring for the week, I'd go hang out.
Right.
Whether I did a spot or not. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
Right.
But the hang was cool, and that's how you met all those guys.
Yes.
And you learn so much by watching people work a room.
Yes, you do. There's nothing like it.
Right.
There's nothing like it, and I don't.
Hey, that's the end of the free portion of Total Schmidt Show. You want to see the rest of the video? You want to see it all? Hit the link below. Join the website. $2 a month or $20 for the year. You'll get upwards of 40 episodes. 40 video episodes, full video episodes of Total Schmidt Show. Join the website. Or you can listen for free. Link is below as well. However, I highly recommend you go the paid option, because then I get your money.